Hey yo, what is up FPG fam? Further here and welcome back to another Aether Gazer video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the version 2.6 tier list, team recommendation, gen zone recommendation, a culmination of all those things in this video. So hopefully it brings you some value. Hopefully you do enjoy, and a massive shout out to Flower Dance Group for putting this all together. It's really awesome to see the community do something this awesome for the game itself, being able to put all this information together for the community to be able to take a look at and to be able to utilize. And I'm going to go ahead and have this linked in the description down below. So if you click on that link, you'll come over to this site. And if you do come over to the site and you have a Bilibili account, make sure to give them a like, because this is massive. This takes time and hard work. Unfortunately, I don't have a Bilibili account, so I can't like it. But if you do, make sure you do, because once again, this takes time, and their time is valuable, and it just shows your appreciation. So massive shout out to them. And really quickly, also before we dive into it, a massive shout out to the sponsor of the channel, Gamer Subs. If you want anything from Gamer Subs, whether that be a waifu cup, waifu shirt, or just some gamer subs, all the flavors are fantastic. Make sure to click the link in the description down below. It'll take you right over to gamer subs, and use my code Further Beyond Gaming at checkout to get 10% off everything in the store. So it helps you save, you don't pay full price, and it directly helps the channel out so we can do bigger and better things. Thank you so much. I do truly appreciate all your support. With that being said, let's go ahead and hop into it. Now, they do have some instructions or just some clarification on how they tiered these modifiers. There are some things that you have to take into consideration. They say that it is a training recommendation list. Now, this is wonky translation from Google, keep that in mind. So I'm not exactly sure what they mean by that, but they're saying it's not a pure strength list, which leads me to believe that it's very similar to how I did my tier list, where it wasn't just pure damage that I was looking at when I was tiering those modifiers. I was taking a culmination of many different things and variables into account, such as team build, gen zone factor, also gameplay, and how fun it is to use that said modifier. I was taking a lot of those things into account, not just pure damage. So I have to assume that they're kind of doing something similar, maybe not one-to-one exact, but something similar to that. So when you're looking at this tier list, don't think of it from a pure damage standpoint. DPS wise, think of it as a culmination of their gameplay, how fun they are, their team, and what they're bringing to the table as a whole, right? Now, moving on from there, you can see the T0 to T4 and how they went ahead and rated those tiers specifically. So they have an explanation on why something is T0 and what that means, and why something's Tier 4 and what that means. So you can go ahead and take a look at that and review it. Now, we're going to go ahead and move over to the actual tier list, and this is going to be for the S ranks first. And at the very top, we have Ling Wang. Now, I do want to go ahead and address something. When I put that video out of the next must pull, I overlooked Ling Wang a little bit and I went straight to Gang Chen. Now, I will take this one on the chin. I probably should not have overlooked Ling Wang, even though I praised her highly. I said she was a phenomenal modifier, and she's definitely one that you would want to grab, but maybe not the next must pull. It was Gang Chen. I definitely think now, reviewing this tier list, getting feedback, and seeing team recommendations, Ling Wang is certainly a must pull modifier, and you would certainly want to go ahead and grab her when 2.0 comes around on global. She just is so beneficial in so many different ways, and so that one I will definitely take on the chin. Ling Wang is certainly a must pull at T0. We have the brand new modifier Isanami right up there, and this could be for many different reasons. She's a brand new modifier. She's going to be exceptionally strong, which, by the way, I love what the developers did with this modifier in particular. It seems as if they took a lot of time and a lot of care put into her animations, just simply the way she floats, her basic attacks, her skills. She seems exceptionally strong in her own right as well. I believe she has a bit of a counter attack also. I could be mistaken. Let me know in the comments down below. And then she probably has a very phenomenal optimal team that you can put together, and that's why she's T0. All those things culminating to her being T0. And then moving on from there, we have Jin Wu, which this is fantastic to see, especially for my free-to-play players. Her being T0 because she was free on CN, she should be free on global. Having her still be up here as a very strong DPS is a very nice sight to see, because free-to-play players have something to look forward to. And then if you've been saving, you could double S and possibly triple S this modifier. So Jin Wu right up there, and her animations and everything about her are fantastic as well. So T0 for Jin Wu, That is awesome. And then of course we have Hera being up there in support, like with Ling Wang. Hera's always going to be a phenomenal modifier to have. She just offers too much, and her kit is almost, to this point, future proof. So that's good to see as well. Your investment is paying dividends down the road because you can slot her in any team. Now moving on from there, we have Scotty, who's kind of in that limbo phase where she's either T0.5 or T3. Now to explain this, for Scotty to be in T0.5, you have to have certain things in place. You have to have her, if I'm not mistaken, double S, signature functor. You have to have a specific support modifier with her, Mitsu, I believe that's her name. And you have to have other things in place in order for her to be T0.5. So there's a bit of a stipulation to have her here. If you don't have those things in place, you know, double S, signature functor, Mitsu, and other things, then she's T3. So you have to keep that in mind. But if you do have them in place, which, you know, for the most part, if you're like looking to invest in Scotty and this is down the road, you probably will, even as a free-to-play player, then Scotty has a massive glow up, and it's good to see, right? So she's in T0.5 with those in place, T3 if not. Moving on from there, T1s, now we have Gang Chen at the top. For obvious reasons, right? We also have Living Soul Osiris at T1, which is nice to see. We have one of the newer modifiers, I would say, Zheng Yao, if I'm not mistaken in her name, which is awesome. I haven't seen too much about her, and I don't know too much about her, but I do know that she has an amazing design, and I love the weapons that she uses, and she has awesome gameplay. Under her, we have Flame Tier, which is a very nice surprise to see. He's going to be coming up here soon on Global, so I know a lot of people were looking to skip him because right after is 2.0, if I'm not mistaken, and then that's, you know, Ling Wang and Jin Wu, and those are ones that you would definitely want to save for and grab. So it's a little unfortunate, but if you do skip them, then you could probably get them, you know, down the road. You lose your 50-50 to them, whatever the case may be. And then if you do get him, you can see that he's T1, so that's really nice. Under him, we have Meng, which is good to see as well. I'm a fan favorite of Meng, so it's good to see him in T1. And then underneath him, we have Mitsu, who's one of the newer modifiers that just recently came out. Her paired with Scotty is what is allowing Scotty to propel up in the tier list. She looks like a very fun modifier to use. I love her weapon. I love her design. And she appears to be top tier. So that's really nice. And then underneath her, I believe her name is Ling. I don't know the full name. I just believe that part of her name is Ling. I could be mistaken once again. I don't know too much about this modifier, but she's T1. I believe she might be more on the supporting side, sub DPS. Once again, you can let me know, my CM players. And that will round out T1. And then moving on from there, we have T2. And you can see Hades has come down from her pedestal, or where she was on Mount Olympus on the tier list. Now for global, she's still there. But you could see that as we start to progress in the game, we start to get better and better modifiers. Now T2 is still a very good tier. You know, it's not one that she's fallen off or anything like that. It's just obvious power creep and what happens in a gacha game. But what I will say is that she holds her own for a very long time. And once again, T2 is still good. And that's one thing that I like about Aether Gazer. The power creep isn't so exorbitant that you feel really bad if you pull a character because you know that, you know, a patch later they're going to be out of the meta or whatever the case may be. They actually, in this game, they hold their value for a very, very long time. And she's still holding her value as old as she is on CN, still being in T2. That's phenomenal to see. And even Shinri Tsukuyomi being in T2, she was like one of the very first modifiers, if not the very first up drop rate modifier, and she's still holding her own. That's very good to see. And then they always have the chance to get the glow up like Scotty. So those are modifiers you invest in, and they're gonna go ahead and still hold their value for quite some time. Jin, of course, because of her supporting capabilities and her teams and things of that nature. Arctic Abyss Poseidon. I've been telling you guys about Arctic Abyss Poseidon and how good she is, and I still stand by that. I really love this modifier and what she brings to the table. And then we have Thor right underneath her. Thor, of course, is a phenomenal modifier. Hell right underneath her. And then we have Asada at T2 rounding that tier out, which is good to see. Moving on from there, we have T3, and we have, I believe this is light tier. And then in T3, we have Oceanus, which is unfortunate to see. And then we have Anubis, which is very interesting to see as well. So these two were probably for me the most surprising to see on T3. Once again, T3 is not terrible, but we're now moving down the list. So for these two, I was a little bit surprised to see that. And then we have Ryuguri, and then we have Athena. Once again, surprised to see Athena down in T3. Leviathan, I kind of expected to be down here. Marduk, I expected to be down here. Eshu, now that's rounding out T3, and then moving on to T4, we have Eshu. And then we have, which I was very surprised to see, the Sakura down in T4 also. But I believe the reason for that is because for Sakura, we have other supports. She's not really needed, right? She's kind of good at a little bit of everything, but not a master of anything, if that makes sense. And the other supports that we have, you would just slot them in instead of Sakura. So I can see why she's down in T4, and Eshu as well. There's just, for Eshu, you have just other DPS that are far better, that perform better and more fluid, but and a lot easier to use. So I could see that. But yeah, to see Oceanus and Anubis down here was very, very interesting and a bit surprising. But that is the version 2.6 tier list for the S ranks. And then for the A ranks, we'll just go through these quickly. Heimdall T0 makes sense. Heimdall's busted. I have to build mine up. This was very interesting to see the original A rank Tsukiyomi in T1, obviously with certain things in place. T3 if not. Bastet in T1, which I expected to see her there. Nuada, and then we have Bazembu, which is really good to see. And then we have Beaver, either T1 with certain things in place or T4 if not. Rounding out T2 is going to be Enlil, Osiris, and then we have Vidar, so that's really cool to see. And then we have Leviathan rounding out T2 if she has certain things in place. If not, T4. And then you can see the rest of the A ranks right here. I think all the A ranks are good in their own right. It just kind of depends on like what type of team you're trying to build, who you like, and what you're trying to do with your account. Kind of is the way I view the A ranks to a certain degree. Okay, now for this next part, it's going to be each modifier in each gen zone. Now, how they have them here, I don't know if it's in a specific order. Once again, the wonky translation here, I don't know what they mean by jump referral form or jump in general or jump strategy. I'm not too sure what that is referring to, but I almost want to believe this is kind of how like they're ranking in each gen zone. But the only thing that's throwing me off is Oceanus above Hera. But I don't know if they have these in like the DPS realm and then in the support realm. Once again, if you're able to read this or you understand it, you can let me know in the comments down below. Or if it's like certain things that they are taking into account to put them in a specific order. But the way it's kind of tiered right now kind of makes sense, except this Hera Oceanus. I might have flip-flopped this one slightly. But the rest of it looks kind of making sense. But yeah, but these are the modifiers in each gen zone. So this will be Olympus. This would be Shino, you can see here. This one has really had a glow up with the modifiers that have come out with Izanami and Mitsu. This is a really good gen zone now. Moving on from there, we have the Yggdrasil. So we have Thor, Flame Tier, we have Hell. Yeah, I can't imagine this is like ranking them because, you know, Flame Tier would be higher than Thor based off that tier list. But once again, I have to assume they're taking other things into account like team combinations and stuff like that. Moving on from there, we have the Nile. Nile could probably use a bit of love as well. Yeah, no, they could use a lot of love. They could use a lot of love. And then Asterism could use a lot of love as well. Those are two gen zones that they would need to focus on to get those kind of back where they should be. And then this is the, if I'm not mistaken, the new gen zone, which I'm not sure the name of it. So those are the gen zones and the modifiers in them. Is this the new gen zone? Do they only have S ranks? They don't have any A rank modifiers. That's interesting. And then we have the team recommendation form. So these are the teams that are probably the best on the CN side that you can put together at the moment. And that's, you could start to see from this team recommendation list why Ling Wang is a must build, because she's in so many different teams because she's that good as a support modifier. So we have the team of Izanami, Mitsu, and Ling Wang. This team looks so good. Then we have Scotty, Mitsu, and Ling Wang. And then we have Jin Wu, Gang Chen, and Ling Wang. This team I know is incredibly strong as well. Meng, Gang Chen, and Ling Wang. And then we have, of course, the Living Soul Osiris, Thor, and then the Ling when she comes out. You'll have that team build. Flame Tier, Ryuguri, and then Ling Wang. Zheng Yao, Ling Wang, and Ling. And then we have Meng, Enlil, and Ling. And then we have Hel, Heimdall, Hodar. This is an interesting team. This is an interesting team as well here. This is actually a team you can go ahead and put together right now on Global, as well as this one. So you can see the team recommendations and the team builds here. So this is a good list to go off of. This is a very good team as well on Global that you could put together. This is a phenomenal team. Yeah, this is going to be a very fun team to use also. And then they have the Marduk team with Hera, of course. So yeah, you can use this as a recommendation on how you want to put your teams together. And then they have the engraving table. So this is just a really good resource for my global players to take a look at, to prioritize, and to organize what you want to do on your global account moving forward. Once again, a massive shout out to the Flower Dance Group for putting this together. Do truly appreciate it. And this is a really, really nice culmination of information to go ahead and take advantage of. Anyways, guys, I'm going to go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you so much for all the support. I do truly appreciate it. Remember to stand out, be different, have fun, go further beyond in everything that you do. My name is Cody. You call me further. I'll see you on the next one. Bye, guys.